And just like that, we're back again with another update on Solana. So, in this update, we're going to talk about what's happening with the price of Solana, do some technical analysis, share some things with you guys. So, again, shout out to you guys if you're still here. If you're looking across the board, today was a great start of the week. You can see, a lot of coins up right now, double digit gainers actually. Sui is up, SPX, Bonk, XRP, Solana, pretty much everything is up right now, which again, I'm sure no one's really complaining about, specifically to the people that were dollar cost averaging in. And even if you look at it from a weekend perspective, we're obviously coming out of a weekend, and we actually saw good price action on the weekend as well. So, looking at Sol right now on the daily time frame, it's up about 6%. But what I don't want you guys to forget is this. Look at it on a weekly time frame. Solana is up 5%, while the broader market's still down. It's holding up in green. And again, this is where, we could really distinguish the momentum. And, its overall momentum is actually better than a lot of people are expecting. It's outpacing BTC because if you look at Bitcoin on a weekly time frame, Bitcoin is down 4.5%. And Solana is actually up 5%. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So, the price of Solana, $138.18, up 4% on the Bitcoin side of things. Valuation, $77.3 billion dollars, and the 24-hour trading volume at 6.3 billion. Take a look at this though. Solana is the number one chain in decentralized exchange volume and app revenue. There we have it. And on top of that, I obviously mentioned this in my market analysis update. And speaking about the market analysis update, it's a new segment every single day of the week. We're talking about, the broader market. I'm going to share, in-depth analysis, what's really going on. And so far, the feedback has been amazing, especially in this state of the market, which again, we're in, I would say, extreme fear zone still at this point. But make sure your bell icon is on. I would suggest you guys to turn those on, so you're notified every time we upload. But look at this. Solana saw $130 million in inflows last week, and XRP saw 180 million. So again, these are not small numbers, guys. And now, if you look at the price action between those two on the weekly time frame, like I said, this is what a lot of people are overlooking. XRP is also up, so is Solana on a weekly time frame, while the entire market is still quite down. So you gotta pay attention to this, and that is the beauty of doing obviously day-to-day analysis. But let's take a look at what's happening with the price as far as the dominance is concerned. Dominance is pulling down right now, and that is the major. Of course, Bitcoin going up is also a catalyst behind this. But the way the dominance is moving towards the downside, because dominance could have actually still hovered around 59% or so. And even if Bitcoin were to go up the way it did, you would have still seen altcoins see a bounce like the one we're seeing. But the reason why we're seeing double digit gainers today is due to none other than the Bitcoin dominance pulling down the way it is. Bitcoin price, on the other hand, let's give it a refresh live and understand what's happening with the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin price right now, $88,115, looking amazing. It was able to actually close above $88,000, which is nice to see, of course. And it's holding really nicely around the $88,000, which pretty much, gives me more confidence that, Bitcoin could push up into the point 50, $92,000 from where we currently are. Of course, if you want to put this into perspective, that is a move of about 5%, give or take. But breaking above this key range right now, obviously we're being supported by the $88,000 support, but breaking above here could take us up there into the point 50. We might see a little bit of a rejection at that key range. Maybe market makers step in to shake out, the overlong positions. But I still do believe that this is a realistic thing to be looking forward to, because we've been in this downwards trajectory pretty much since the start of November. See for yourself, guys. See for yourself. It's been nothing but downwards trend for Bitcoin. But with that said, I'm speaking way too fast. I'm realizing I am speaking way too fast. I need to catch my breath. That's crazy how excited I am. And it's not even about excitement in terms of just when the market goes up. It's about passion, and I'm extremely passionate about crypto, as you guys know. Been covering crypto since 2019. That's when I launched this channel. Since then, a lot has changed, but I've been in this space for since 2016, which again I've already highlighted on this channel quite a bit. But enough with that. Let's take a look at what's happening with Sol. So look at Solana, guys. Let me zoom in. there we have it. So Sol was obviously sitting just last night at $130. So we broke above this key resistance, came up to $133. Solana retested. So after breaking above this key resistance, we retested this support, which was a resistance, and we saw this support playing out as a support, as to be expected. And obviously that held as a support. And since then, the price of Sol went up 9% in just the last 24 hours. So a nice bounce for Solana right here. But also, with that said, look where we're having a little bit of a hard time breaking out of the $140 price point. Again, something not new to us. There is significant amount of resistance around that range. If this is able to break out, I personally believe Solana could break out of that, resistance that we were pretty much in on August 14th, all the way till you could say the 20th, where we saw these multiple, big swings. Breaking above, I would say, let me give you guys the number, like around the $145 key range. If this is able to break out, Sol could push up into the point 50 much quicker than a lot of people are realizing. And right now, the price actually closed at the range where we're actually at. So the next wave, in order for us to get into the point 50, it's about an 8.2% move from where we currently are. And I could see that realistically playing out, quicker than a lot of people are realizing, especially if we're able to break out of this key resistance, the one I have just mentioned. Obviously, keep an eye out on Bitcoin. Bitcoin so far still holding around $88,172, showing good signs. But we got to take it one step at a time. This is our target. I'm looking for Sol right now at the $150 price point. Might see a little bit of a rejection. Keep an eye out on Bitcoin. Of course, like I said, something we don't really want to be ignoring. But I've stated on the channels countless of times, I'm more confident for Bitcoin to turn things around now than when the price was in the 38.2 or the 0.50 fib zone, which again, I've highlighted on the channel quite a bit. But let me know in the comments what you guys think, and where you see the price of Sol going. Again, the activity on the Solana networks, obviously compared to all-time highs, it has gone down. There's no question about that. But in terms of building, in terms of innovation, there's a lot happening for itself, and this speaks for itself here as well, right? So let me know in the comments what you guys think. What are your overall targets on Sol? What's your forecast for 2026? Let me know if you want to see more of these updates. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX and